Hello everybody and welcome again to another exciting episode. As you can see, we are here at Disney's Animal Kingdom, and today we are counting down the top 5 must-do attractions here at Animal Kingdom. So stay tuned, find out what's the number 1 attraction. We're going to be counting down from 5. Stay tuned, it's going to be awesome.
Number 5.
All right, so kicking off our top 5 attractions in Animal Kingdom here at Walt Disney World has to be the animals themselves. It has to be one of the top 5 attractions. I get it, it's not one thing, it's not one exhibit, it's not one ride or roller coaster, but it is all together. I mean, it's pretty important and it is awesome. All the animals here are fantastic, deserve to be on our top 5 list, starting it off at number 5. So obviously the animals have been here since the park opened in 1998. There are actually about 10,000 animals altogether in Walt Disney World. About 2,000 specifically in Animal Kingdom alone. The other animals are spread out around Fort Wilderness, Animal Kingdom Lodge, and Epcot, the Living Seas, all those sorts of things. But 2,000 just in this park all by itself. That's a lot of animals. And in that 2,000 animals, there's about 300 species of animals in this park. There are gorillas, meerkats, warthogs, zebras, giraffes, hippos, alligators. I mean, there's all sorts of things. So if you are looking for a particular type of animal, they probably have it in this park somewhere. One of my favorite animals is the otters. And they're a little dodgy when it comes to showing their faces, but when you do get to see them, man, they are cute. One fun fact, there's over 1,000 zookeepers, scientists, veterinarians that actually keep all of these animals safe, fed, taken care of, 1,000 of them. And even during the pandemic, when a lot of places had to shut down, had to release employees, they kept their 1,000-person staff to take care of these animals. So I think that's really cool. Now let's talk a little bit about some of the areas to find the animals. Obviously you can find them in the safari, but they're actually all over the park. One of the places, the Oasis, where you first come in, there's actually animals there. You can also find animals in the Discovery Island, which is the Tree of Life area. There's all sorts of things there that you can look at. There's Africa, you've got the safari, you've got the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. There's Asia, where you have the Maharaja Jungle Trek, which is actually where we're at right now. And then you have Rafiki's Planet Watch, which we've talked about. You can take a train over to Rafiki's Planet Watch, and there's all sorts of animals over there. And you can pet some of them. And then, surprisingly, there's actually some animals in Dino Land. If you've ever seen our friend Bert, I don't know what his actual name is, but we call him Bert, the alligator, American alligator. It's an alligator, right? Not crocodile? I think it's an American alligator. But he's over there in Dino Land. So all over the park there are animals. Highly recommend you check out the animals because it is deserving of being top 5. We've actually done an entire episode just devoted to the animals in this park. Check out that episode. It's the Animal Kingdom's Animals Only episode, but definitely deserving. It is Animal Kingdom after all. There should probably be animals on this list. Top 5. This is the number 5, kicking it off. The animals at Animal Kingdom.
Number 4.
Here we are at our number 4 attraction on our list of top 5 attractions here in the Animal Kingdom. Kilimanjaro Safari. It is awesome. It is an animal expose, an animal expedition. It is so cool. Kilimanjaro Safari has been here since the park opened in 1998, so it was an opening day attraction for Animal Kingdom. It's actually the largest attraction in all of Disney World. It's so big, in fact, that you can fit the entire Magic Kingdom inside of Kilimanjaro Safari. That's how big it is. It is a monster. The ride itself is an awesome jungle trek. You get on a truck and it drives you through this amazing safari and all these different areas, and you see all these different animals on these trucks. The trucks are actually real trucks that drive. They are not on a track. They're not automated. You're actually on a truck and you're bouncing along through the safari. It's really cool. There used to be this interesting storyline on the ride about poachers. Do you remember the poachers thing? Yeah. Where they would kind of like oh, there's some poachers ahead and there was a baby elephant and you were chasing them and trying to track them down and everything, and then they get caught. They got rid of that. It doesn't exist in the ride anymore. Now it's just more of a general conservation message. So it's no longer there, but it's just an interesting fact. It used to have a kind of a show. There used to also be a bridge that you drove on, and then it would like shake and then like it was gonna fall. Sometimes they kind of still do the bridge thing, like you drive over it and it like makes noises, but it's not quite the same. Another cool fact: the Flamingo Lagoon. If you've ever seen the Flamingo Lagoon, the little islands that they stand on, actually is a hidden Mickey.
What?
So take a look next time you're there, and you'll see that's 3 little circle shapes there is a hidden Mickey of the Flamingo Island. There are 34 species of animals that you get to see on Kilimanjaro Safari. Well, they're in there. You may not see them all because, they're animals. They don't perform on command. But there are 34 species of animals, everything from cheetahs to lions to rhinoceroses and hippos and elephants and giraffes. I mean, zebras. There's all kind of stuff in there. I mean, it's like the who's of animals in this safari. So this is definitely the spot to come to see them all. You may not see them all on the first time. Ride it again. And I will tell you, there's a daytime and a nighttime, and they are different. You will see probably different animals at daytime versus nighttime, because some of the animals, they're nocturnal, or they like to hang out, or they're more active at night. So you want to definitely see it at night. There's kind of a cool fake sunset on the African safari area too. So it's a little bit different experience at night than daytime. So I love Kilimanjaro Safari. What's your favorite part of Kilimanjaro Safari?
Oh gosh. Well, I don't know. The animals. I like the animal. I like the giraffes because they seem closer. Anything that can get close to the little truck you're in.
Because some of them are kind of walled off and they're in like a little, like there's a pit that blocks you, but some of them can actually get up. I mean, we've had rhinoceroses touching the cars.
I like when,
the trucks.
Yeah, so any of the animals that can come up to the truck.
Yeah, giraffes,
or even
zebras.
Stop us and we can't go because they're like in the way.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
I think the dodgiest part is when you drive over all the crocodiles.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crocodiles down there. It's and the bridge looks busted that you're driving on. I mean, it looks busted.
They make it seem that way.
So I'm sure it's safe. It's totally safe, but it looks busted. I think my favorite thing is the nighttime safari part of it. I think it's cool.
Oh yeah.
I think it's like.
Oh, for sure.
It just seems
and we
cooler.
haven't done it at night in a while.
It's been a while
Yeah.
because it's not open. It's not always open that late.
Yeah.
Overall, the ride, 22-minute ride on average. It's pretty long, but it's really awesome. So definitely deserving. You got to check it out of being number 4 on our top attractions list here at Animal Kingdom.
Number 3.
Here we are at number 3 on our countdown of top best attractions, top must-do attractions here at Animal Kingdom is Dinosaur. Dinosaur ride has been here since Animal Kingdom opened in 1998. I absolutely love this ride. It's one of my favorites. It originally was actually called Countdown to Extinction, back before it was Dinosaur. And that was back when it was really scary. It was Countdown to Extinction, and it was dodgy. It was actually renamed to Dinosaur from Countdown to Extinction in the year 2000 to coincide with the Disney movie Dinosaur that was releasing that year. And so they renamed it to Dinosaur. And you can see in the background the Iguanodon. Actually, the Iguanodon and the Carnotaurus, the big bad dinosaur, were actually already really in this ride. They've been in this ride for a long time. And so they happen to be in the movie. I don't know if the movie was inspired by the ride or what the deal was, but those two dinosaurs were already in this ride even before that movie. The dinosaur behind me, the Iguanodon, he was actually a Styracosaurus before. So they actually, once the movie came out, they changed it from the Styracosaurus to the Iguanodon that you see, which is the main character in the movie. So they changed it. Now you also notice, you see the barricade of plants that's around this dinosaur? They didn't actually used to be there because there's a fountain on the other side of that. It's water. But for some reason, people couldn't resist jumping in the water. So they had to actually put in a barrier to prevent that. So kind of interesting. When they rethemed it to Dinosaur from Countdown to Extinction, they actually lowered the height requirement. The height requirement for this ride actually used to be 46 inches, and they lowered it to 40 inches. And then they made it much less scary.
Yeah.
So if anybody remembers Countdown to Extinction back in the day, you remember it was pretty intense. It was much scarier. I was even scared. And now it's been toned down quite a bit to be more family friendly with the movie. You know, it makes a little bit more sense. I personally liked the scarier version, and I wish it would come back. Now, if you look closely, you can actually see remnants of Countdown to Extinction on the ride. For example, when you get on your Time Rover, it actually says CTX Time Rover on the sides of all of the vehicles. And that's Countdown to Extinction Rover. So there's still nods to it. You can still see them. Interestingly, you might also not know that the red, white, and yellow pipes that are actually on the inside coincide with the colors of McDonald's, and that's for a reason, because McDonald's actually used to be the sponsor of this ride way back when it first opened. And so those pipes were meant to represent ketchup, mayonnaise, and mustard, and the McDonald's colors. And they're still in there, those colors. There are some writing on some of the tubes, and those are supposed to be the actual formulas for ketchup, mayonnaise, and mustard. I can't confirm that or deny that, but supposedly that's what they mean. I don't know enough about chemistry to know if that's true, but interesting. Take a look at the tubes when you're in there and look for the red, white, and the yellow, and look at some of the wording on there, and you might actually see the ingredients for ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise. And again, that's because of McDonald's. So, Countdown to Extinction, number 3 on our list. Awesome ride, must-do attraction. You got to get out here and see it, and it is much more family-friendly than it used to.
Number 2.
All right, we are at number 2 on our list, almost to that number 1 spot. I'm excited. I don't know what it's going to be. Actually, I know what it's going to be, but you don't. So you have to hold on. But number 2 is right back there. It is Expedition Everest. Expedition Everest, Legend of the Forbidden Mountain, is such an awesome ride. It was built in 2006 and houses Disney World's largest animatronic ever built, the Yeti, the monster itself. And there's some pretty cool facts about him. Shortly after Expedition Everest actually opened, a couple of months later, there it goes, the Yeti cracked down to the foundation, and they had to stop moving him. So he was in A mode, which is like the moving mode. He cracked, and they had to put him into B mode, which is basically he just sits there and does absolutely nothing. And the B mode has strobe light effects on it that makes it seem like he's moving around, but he's not moving around, and which has actually led a lot of people to call him Disco Yeti, because he's kind of like disco popping instead of actually moving around. The people who made this have many times said, we are going to fix that someday. It's been like that for a long time now. Wow. And because it is built, like all the concrete and the structure and everything, it's going to cost a lot to fix it. And it would take a refurb. This shuts the whole thing down for a long, long time. So we'll see if they ever actually fix it, or if it's just going to be broken forever. I don't know. But either way, it's still cool. But I remember when it was moving around, and it was cool. A couple more things about Expedition Everest. It is the tallest attraction in all of Disney World. It's actually a half a foot taller than Tower of Terror, which we covered in another video. So at 199.5 feet, it's a half foot taller, because at that 200 foot, they would have had to have put a light on top of it and ruin that facade. So it's actually a little bit tiny bit bigger than the Tower of Terror, which also they didn't want to put a light on top of that, so we stopped it. So technically, it's the biggest. It's also the most expensive roller coaster ever built. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records, $100 million roller coaster, the most expensive ever built. Another thing, it's actually the first Disney roller coaster that was ever made that goes forward and backwards. So that's pretty cool.
I love that it goes backwards.
It's really cool. And then the last thing, if you do an overhead view of Expedition Everest, so if you look it up on like the map, if you do an overhead view, it's actually a giant hidden Mickey. A giant hidden Mickey. The whole thing. I don't know how to get an overhead view other than Google Map it, but if you do an overhead view, it's a giant hidden Mickey. So check it out. So Expedition Everest, awesome, awesome ride. Check it out. It's one of the coolest rides ever made, and I love it. I think it's a great attraction. We just actually rode it, and it was awesome. So that's number 2 on our top attractions list at Animal Kingdom. So get ready for number 1, but don't miss this ride.
Honorable mention.
Now I want to cover an honorable mention for top attractions at this park. It's kind of not really an attraction. Maybe it's an attraction. It's not a roller coaster. It's not a ride. It's just an awesome attraction.
It's one of my favorite things.
Yes, and that is deserving to be an honorable mention for sure. And that is the World of Pandora behind me at nighttime. Yeah. It is. I mean, it's great during the daytime, but at nighttime, it just it pops off. So if you haven't ever seen it, you have to stay till nighttime or come to the park when it actually stays open late enough to see it at nighttime. It doesn't always stay open, so check the hours. But when you can be here at nighttime, it is amazing. Pandora, it's been open since 2017. It is just an awesome experience. The thing that makes it so unique at nighttime is a few things. The sounds.
Yeah.
There are sounds during the daytime. You can hear them. The sound of like creatures and animals and just the flora and the fauna and the wind and everything, and it's just some really cool sounds. It kicks up a notch at nighttime. Like, it sets off. Like, it's much louder, much more intense. It's really cool. Like, if I wasn't at a theme park, I would kind of actually get a little weirded out and kind of scared, to be honest, because there's some crazy sounds going on here at night. The second thing is the bioluminescence, the amazing glow in the dark.
Yeah.
I mean, everything just glows. There's actually very little lighting in this area at nighttime. It relies on a lot of the lighting up of the flora and the fauna, all the trees and bushes, and I don't even know what you call them, but flora and fauna, all throughout this park. Even the concrete that you walk on actually has all this glow to it, almost like there's just like algae and things growing on, and moss that glows in the dark on the concrete. So it's such a cool experience. The drum beats are louder. When people are playing the drums over there too, it even adds more to it. So it is just an awesome experience, and there are so many amazing photo opportunities in this land at daytime, but also even more at nighttime. So especially the waterfall right over here to my left, there's a beautiful waterfall at night that's all lit up and beautiful, and if you have a good camera, you can get some amazing shots. So didn't quite make the cut in our top 5 attractions, but it is definitely worthy of an honorable mention.
Sure.
You've got to see it.
My favorite.
Honorable mention.
We have another honorable mention for top attractions, top must-do attractions in Animal Kingdom, and it's Tough to Be a Bug. And you may be wondering why we're standing in front of the Tree of Life. It's because It's Tough to Be a Bug is actually inside of the Tree of Life. It's kind of underneath of it. So it is a really cool 3D/4D interactive movie, deserving of being an honorable mention. Didn't quite make it into the top 5, but it is still a really cute attraction. Did you know that there's actually 2 versions of It's Tough to Be a Bug? Yeah, there was actually another version of Tough to Be a Bug at Disney's California Adventure. It opened in 2001, actually. But in 2018, it did close, and it was replaced by the Spider-Man Web Slingers ride. So, pretty interesting. Didn't realize, you may not have known there was 2 versions of this. The movie/show is actually based on the Disney Pixar movie Bug's Life. Interestingly enough, is that you will actually get to see the characters from Bug's Life in the It's Tough to Be a Bug. What's interesting about that is this show actually premiered 2 months before the movie came out. So you actually got to see Flick, Hopper, all the gang in the show before the movie even came out. So that's kind of interesting. It doesn't really happen that often. So this is kind of cool. Overall, the show is about 8 to 9 minutes long if you include sort of the whole movie, all the experience, but it is an interactive 4D type movie because there's some 4D effects. There's some really cool things that happen, like spiders coming down from the ceiling. There's a surprise at the end that I won't reveal, but there's some cool things that actually happen. It's not just watching a 3D movie. So it is a cool show, worth seeing. It's a bonus that it's inside the Tree of Life. How cool is that? It's also a great place to cool off and a great place if it's raining to hang out. So deserving to be on our list as an honorable mention. Didn't quite make the top 5, but it's worth seeing.
Number 1.
Here we are, we finally made it to our number 1 must-do attraction here in Animal Kingdom, and it is Avatar Flight of Passage.
It's an amazing ride. It's our son's favorite ride, I think, out of all the parks or ever.
I personally think it is the best ride in all the parks.
Yeah.
Hands down. Even better than Rise of the Resistance.
Oh, yeah,
I've said this before. I think it is the number 1 ride in all of Disney. Flight of Passage is an amazing ride. Let's talk about it a little bit. Flight of Passage is obviously based off the 2009 film Avatar by James Cameron. Flight of Passage was created in 2017 when the new Avatar World of Pandora area was opened in Animal Kingdom. It is a 3D, 4D, I don't even know, interactive attraction where you are essentially flying over the world of Pandora. What's really cool about it is that all of the footage that's used in the ride was actually original content. They created it just for this ride. It wasn't reused from any of the movie content, but they did actually use the models and the textures that were used in the film. They used them for this ride, so they are authentic. It looks amazing.
It really does.
It really feels like you are inside the world of Pandora in the movie. It doesn't even feel like you're just on a ride about the movie. It feels like you're in the movie. So the premise of the ride is essentially that you link with an avatar, just like in the movie. You link up with an avatar, become the avatar, and then as an avatar, you can actually ride on the back of an Ikran, also known as a banshee, the big flying lizard creatures that are in the movie. So you actually fly. So the entire ride is you flying on the back of an Ikran or banshee. And it's so awesome. It feels amazing.
It really does.
As I said, it's a 3D attraction. It cost about $500 million to make the Avatar Pandora land. Don't know exactly how much this ride cost, but I will say probably a big chunk of that money was for the ride. A fun fact about this, the line itself was built, and if you've ever been in the line, you know, it was built to accommodate a 6-hour wait. That's how long that line is. So even when there's nobody in the line, you're walking in that line for a while. And part of the ride experience is the pre-shows. The pre-shows are really cool. And at one point, they actually match you up with an avatar. So they scan your body.
Yeah,
it's very interactive. You do like a little dance, and it's kind of showing you on the screen. And then they actually try to match you up with an avatar. That is not random. Did you know that they actually look at your facial features and try to match you with an avatar? Pretty cool, right? I don't know why I always get a girl avatar. I guess I have feminine features, and I'm okay with that. I don't care. I think that's great. But yeah, I always get a girl. Anyhow, I just thought that was really cool because it actually try to match you up with an avatar. So overall, the ride is fantastic. It is an experience. You get on your own single seat. It moves you can feel the breathing on your legs like you're actually on an Ikran. The smells of the ride.
Yeah, you definitely get the feels in that ride the whole time. I can't stop smiling ear to ear the whole time, and the smells are crazy. They're some of my favorite smells in all of Disney.
There's a breeze in your face that when you're flying. There's mist that hits you in the face. Overall, the entire experience from start to finish is amazing. Overall, end-to-end experience, Flight of Passage, it is the winner. Did I talk about the ride queue? Oh my goodness, the ride queue is amazing.
It is.
But awesome ride, absolutely deserving to be #1 on our top attractions at Disney's Animal Kingdom. And I think, quite frankly, probably the #1 ride in all of Disney. But we're actually going to do an episode that's just the top rides in all of Disney, so we'll have to find out if this one actually makes the top. So stay tuned. Thank you for joining our top 5 attractions at Animal Kingdom. There have been some amazing things on this list. I think a lot of people forget some of the awesome experiences that exist at this park. So hopefully this is a reminder to get out there and try all these attractions. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for more great episodes. Subscribe, like, hit the notifications below so that you get our videos every single day. Thanks for joining us the Noble Way.
It's the easy way.
Bye-bye.